Buenos Micronesia, I'm Troy Torres.
And I'm Johnny Rosario.
Thank you for joining us for our October 8th Tuesday edition of Kandit News here in our studios in Tumon, Guam.
Two more days to receive food stamp because they receive food stamps from the 1st to the 10th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
It's that whole. Is it
Whatever your
the last digit of the?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So please spend it wisely, people.
Please don't swap it. Okay. I forgot to put that in the story today about the swapping of the food stamps. That's actually part one of a series.
I have a story about that.
About swapping food stamps?
Yeah.
Is it within the statute of limitations?
Oh, it's far past.
Oh,
Far
okay,
past,
okay, we're good.
Yeah.
The statute is 5 years.
No, this is how crazy. But we'll talk about that when you get to your story.
Okay.
Remind me that I got a story about that.
Okay, cool. We don't have to talk to a lawyer first, right?
No, we don't.
Oh, okay.
No, we don't.
So, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for following us in our coverage of Super Typhoon Hagibis. I didn't realize the numbers until we were done with the show, and so it was very nice to know that we were not alone in our coverage of Super Typhoon Hagibis. It was kind of grueling, but not as grueling as I'm sure the work was for the people in the government of Guam. And we'll get to a discussion about that. Before we start, let's do our standard, ask you to like and follow Angel in Disguise, ANGELNDSKIES. She's not an advertiser. We just like her. She's just cool like that. And then did we put up the Leah's Fabulous Productions slide, Chalu? Yeah, can we put that up so we can promote this? So Leah's Fabulous Productions is putting on a pageant for kids and for teens on the 10th.
Yes, and we are going.
Yeah, we are going. We are going. We are covering it. And we just want to say thank you very much to Leah for all the years that she's been putting stuff like this together, promoting teamwork among kids.
Yes. Building
Sportsmanship,
self-esteem.
character,
Yes.
confidence. Those are really important things. And so this is something, if you would like to go on the 10th, I believe the ticket price is $25 for general admission and $50 for VIP. It'll be held at the Sheraton Laguna Guam Resort, the Ocean Serena Ballroom. Doors open at 5 p.m. The show starts at 6 p.m. And it is sure to be a show because this is Leah's Fabulous Productions. The fabulous is there for a reason because she is fab. And
Fabulous. She's fabulous.
She's around. Now that I'm starting the sentence, I can't end it. So she's our age. She's probably gonna cut me now. She looks young though. She looks good. She looks good. But the stars of the night are the contestants in the pageant, of course. So please support her. Please support these kids. They're doing it for a very good cause. Is there anything else that we need to promote? I can't remember. Prim's Vape Shop. We already put that up, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was supposed to have been the oversight hearing or the roundtable discussion on medical malpractice mandatory arbitration act, but I believe Senator Sharice Chilahi postponed that because of the whole Super Typhoon Hagibis thing. Anyway, please follow Kandit News Group. We're now, how many?
9,721, I believe.
So we are 279?
I believe so.
279 away from the page
10,000.
monetizing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much, guys. We very much
Please
appreciate
follow
that.
us. Go to your Facebook. Look for us there. Open the page on your Facebook, and then go to follow and see first.
Do we have that video that Temi made?
I believe Prim does.
Prim, do you have that video so we can show people how that goes?
I kept looking for it last night. I can't find it.
Okay.
Oh, on the WhatsApp, right?
Someone buried the chat.
Oh, let me check that for you, Prim.
Is that in the one with our FBI friend?
No.
No.
The other one. We love you, FBI friend. We also have a website, www.candidnews.com. If you subscribe, if you go to the bottom of any of the pages on the website, you'll see a subscribe to newsletter thing. I have to change that wording. So it's not a newsletter, it's our stories. So all you have to do is put in your email address, click subscribe, and then whenever we publish something, you get it as soon as I press publish, you get it automatically. And that's what was happening with the Super Typhoon. There were hundreds of people getting our stories just as soon as we published it, and so they got the news. I don't think any other outlet provided any news on the typhoon faster
Than we did. Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, we provided the wind strength and all. Anytime Joint Typhoon Warning Center put something out, we put it out even before the Joint Information Center did.
Yes.
Now, it wasn't a race person. I'm just kidding. Of course, it was a competition.
Well,
But
Troy stuck by his guns, and he really, in his heart, he really feels like he had to do his job and get the word out.
and so
And
We
was very
did.
successful.
that
Very.
is something that we Candid News Group did. I wasn't the only person to do it. Matter of fact, it wasn't even me. It was Barbara Brown.
Barbara Panty Down Brown.
All right, let's talk about the storm. I'm sorry. Let's play. This is the good stuff. So, how was your typhoon?
I'm trying to fix my hair because I just
The
fixed,
typhoon
like
is-
I just seconds before the camera came on, I'm like, oh shit, my hair.
We have a friend who's watching who now believes that that's karma for
Which?
that for that screenshot that she
I still think my hair looks better than hers.
So how was your typhoon?
It was good. It was good.
Was it what was Jigo
cups.
like? Because I was
Very.
fast
Oh, I
asleep.
sent video. Me and Johnny Girl, and the only reason why you can see is because the Jeep I'm driving has this huge light at the top.
Oh, this was the rain that was stabbing
Yes.
the windshield.
Yes, that's,
basically, right?
Yeah, that, and then you could see all the trees and stuff.
This is when you were driving home from
Yes,
Kandit.
yes.
What about so you got home, you got inside the house. Was it really bad?
No, I didn't really feel it. Just
Did you go to
because
sleep?
Yes.
I was fast asleep. I woke up and there wasn't any damage outside. I didn't see any downed trees or anything like that. So it looks like either we were all very prepared and got all our stuff out of the garages and the yards and stuff throughout this island, or it just wasn't all that strong.
It wasn't
on
that
Guam.
strong, but I did wake up.
Oh, there were.
I did wake up and I thought that it was bad because we didn't have any power.
Oh, your power went off.
Yeah, but it wasn't because of storm.
What was it?
Because I'm on prepaid power and I wasn't paying attention.
You forgot to pay the bill?
I forgot to put money in. Prepaid power,
Oh, it was 10 a.m.
yeah.
Mm.
So it got disconnected and I was thinking it was because of the storm or the Hajibis, but then something, I was walking in the hallway and then it dawned on me, like, you need to check if you have even money in there. So we went and yeah, and the prepaid power is pretty badass because once you pay, put money in. It's almost like buying a prepaid cell phone minutes. You put money in. And if it's disconnected, not even 30 minutes after you pay your bill, your power's back on.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I know. I had prepaid power.
Yeah.
Many times have I had a disconnected power service.
And usually, and having prepaid power now, it makes me conscious of what I'm using at home.
Yeah, that's the story for a lot of people who have prepaid
Yeah.
power.
So I like it.
Their power did go out in Jigo on the other side in the Yafagumas area last night, and then until it went back on, like very quickly. I know power was out in the Totu Kanyata area, Baragata. Gina Hall was telling us about it on Facebook. I'm not sure exactly how long it took for GPA crews to reignite. What's the term? Re-energize the lines in there.
GPA's been doing a pretty good job at
Yeah.
getting power back up, power restoration. Now,
The winds were enough to snap some branches.
Yes.
So whoever, whether it's the mayors, DPW, or GPA,
No, actually-
who cleared those branches, good for them.
actually, what's the name of that company? The one there in Barragata or Machachi Road or Allegeta Road.
Is it a construction company?
JJ Moving
Okay.
I remember last year they had a contract with GPA to cut a lot of the trees.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I know they did it in Jigo, they did it in Telefofo, about a year ago. I'm not
These
sure.
are the trees where the branches are hovering over
Yes,
the power
so
lines.
I
That's
know
what
that
causes.
GPA hired them a year ago to take care of that.
So good job, Guam Power Authority. And Art Perez, that was a great 4-page fact sheet that you guys sent out prior to the storm.
Mm-hmm.
I think that really helped people to understand things. Then we have to give kudos to Governor Lulian Guerrero and her Deputy Chief of Staff, John Jr. Calvo, and their entire team at Civil Defense and Homeland Security. We have to, Cello.
No, I'm
the
just thinking
truth.
about our chat this morning.
Which one?
The where it says, the governor said they went out and did the windshield assessment, and then someone in the chat says, "Oh, she went? Oh no, I think her staff went because if it was her that went, she would have said, I did the assessment. I did the assessment." So it's just an inside joke.
So whether or not she's lying about going out to do that assessment, the windshield assessment, we know that acting Lieutenant Governor Tina Munoz Barnes actually was out during the storm, going to the shelters, and so there's like pictures and video of her at Machinana Elementary and just being governorly, basically, and being
Cool.
seen by the people. Right? Got to give her that credit. I don't know if the governor actually went anywhere. There's no picture of the governor in action except at the command center at the at Civil Defense, and it's only a picture of her back. But it's her. It's clearly her. But whether or not she was out, her team.
I beg to.
You don't think that was her? That was her, Chelu. All right, is it because and she just gained some weight?
It's body double.
It's no, I think she,
Literally look like that person
I think
who
she
put
just
away.
I think I think she just
I'm
gained
just
some
giving
weight.
her a hard time. I want this to work. In all reality, I want her to wake up, and I want her to feel for us. So, in reality, I want it to work. So I'm just giving her a hard time. But I would, if I was to run into her, I would hug her, and I want to help.
I would not hug her.
Well, you know what I mean. I'm a lady, and that's how my dad raised me. You know, but in actuality, I want her to succeed.
Yeah.
You
yeah.
know,
Especially
and
during
that
a
is
typhoon.
because of everybody that needs her, but because I voted for her. I don't like that. I have bad things to say. And that's because I personally feel the effect of her and the way she treats us. You know?
I don't like it when all those people are able to say, "See, I told you so."
I know, I hate it too. I just want to punch their face. Like,
And all we can say is,
hey, dude, erase that video about us voting for her, bro.
so, good job, Leon Guerrero administration.
Very good job. Thank you, Governor.
Good job. And to the people, the men and women of the Emergency Operations Center,
Chuck Estevez,
what's her name? Jenna Blas.
Blas.
Yeah, she was Gamindi.
Gamindi, yeah. I like
Um,
saying that last name, Gamindi.
It is a nice name, right?
Yeah.
Jenna Gamindi Blas. We should start calling her Jenna Gamindi Blas. We're going to start that. It's a trend now. And the first responders, the response activity coordinators, also known as RACs. Linda DeNorsi, who had the wit to open the Northern and Southern Regional Community Health Centers for people who needed some care, especially for people who were concerned that they didn't have a generator and they needed medical equipment that ran on power in order to live, to survive. She opened up the Northern and Regional Community Health Centers for people like them. And then to John Fernandez and his team at the Department of Education, including Kelly Sokola, and please forgive me, I forgot the name of the other person who was in charge of the logistics of the emergency shelters. You guys did a great job preparing those shelters in no time. They hustled it. And according to John Fernandez, it's because they have been through this like several times, and so they know the protocols like at the back of their hand.
Right.
There was also Department of Public Works, Jesse John Garcia, the deputy director, who was really leading this. Where is Vince Areola? Like, we didn't see him
Maybe he's
at
off
Civil
island with
Defense.
Tony Babauta and Lieutenant Governor fucking shit up for us over there.
Let's talk about that. So there.
I want to read that. I want to
was
read
the end of
our
the-
congressman's
Let's
response.
Can you do that, Chalu? I want to hear
I
that.
want this because this is, I woke up to this and this is crazy. But we've been saying it, that they're just going over there. And mind you, they just opened their liaison office yesterday. Not really just yesterday, but just 10 months after. Okay?
Happy
I don't even know
Halloween.
why they need a liaison office there when we can do everything over the computer. You know, that don't make no sense. And the congressman's office is over there. You know, I do not understand that.
It was a junket. That's all it was.
Okay, wait, let me.
Oh, sorry, you guys. So that was the end of all the positive thoughts for the Leon Guerrero administration. We're moving on.
Your 2 minutes of fame, of good fame.
But, at least you understand, if you didn't understand before, that we're real. Well, we will call it like it is, and if credit is due, we will give that credit, because there ain't no pride in this. This is just about giving you guys what the real is. Oh, I'm eating hot dogs and pretzel, whatever this is, pretzel
The
crisps.
Guam Daily Post posted a article October 8th, 6 hours ago. I think they just edited this, right? It's edited because this was more
Yeah,
than 6 hours
edited
ago.
6 hours ago.
Okay, I don't know what they edited, but I'm pretty sure my good friend probably screenshotted and knows what they edited is, okay? Oh, did you know there's an app? You see how people like to message you and then delete the message? Did you know that there's an app?
Can you tell me what it is when we're
Yeah,
off the?
yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. And this is by Daily Post staff. Governor Lou Leongro is hoping that the Senate will pass federal war claims correction bill by November. H.R. 1365 was introduced by Guam delegate Michael Nicholas. It remains under consideration by the Senate's Judiciary Committee after it was passed by the House of Representatives in July. The governor told reporters Monday that Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio and Chief of Staff Tony Babauta have been lobbying members of the Senate Judiciary Committee in recent days. Apparently, they're not familiar, quote, with H.R. 1365, said the governor. So, quote, Josh and Tony are talking to the staff, end quote. She said they spoke with members of the Republican Senator Lindsey Graham's staff last week. Senator Graham is the chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee. The governor said she is scheduled to speak on the phone Tuesday with members of Senator Dianne Feistein's staff. Senator Feinstein is the ranking Democratic member of the Judiciary Committee. Speaker Tina Munoz Barnes' war claims measure in the Guam legislature, Bill 181-35, was scheduled for discussion during last week's session, but the governor asked the speaker to postpone consideration of her measure until it's known what course the Senate Judiciary Committee will follow. However, the governor Monday reiterated her position that the speaker's Bill 181 really does not impact H.R. 1365. She said she views the local war reparations measure as enhancing and complementing St. Nicholas' effort. During the legislature's August session, Delegate St. Nicholas urged Guam senators not to pass the local war reparations bill, saying it could jeopardize passage of his war claims correction measure in the Senate.
Before we talk about the merits of this story, can I just say that my favorite part of it was when you pronounced her name, Speaker Tuna Munoz Barnes.
Oh, did I? Did I? I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Auntie Tina.
Like we're.
Didn't mean that.
It made me think that I wanted that. What's that thing that she made that's really good with the musubi, the rice,
Oh, yeah,
and then
yeah.
the tuna.
Yeah, I forgot. Sushi bake. Sushi bake.
Thank you, Speaker. I now want some sushi bake.
Okay, we'll make that tomorrow.
Thank you.
Okay. Here is Congressman, my congressman, your congressman,
Our
Guam's congressman, our congressman. Here's his response. Apparently, the Senate, not very familiar with H.R. 1365, said the governor. So Josh and Tony are talking to the staff. What a horrible untruth to say to our people. We have been engaging Senate leadership and staff for weeks. Even the Republicans were out here weeks before Josh and Tony were talking with Senate staff. So saying they aren't familiar is just a flat out lie. Quit wasting local taxpayer dollars flying your staff around D.C. pretending to do the work of my office. It is not only a waste of money, it is making Guam look bad because members of Congress see your misrepresentations and find it insulting to work that is done in Washington.
Wow.
We are well aware of a possible November passage of the bill, but are not making any announcements so as not to create false hope. Certainty on this issue is key. But again, you're jumping the gun and announcing potential progress on 1365 because the Senate shot down your local Bill 181 war claims idea. We know this even though you are trying to hide it. It's why Speaker Barnes pulled her war claims bill off of last week's session, too. Just be upfront with the people about it. Try leading instead of politicking for a change. The island needs a governor and a lieutenant governor and a chief of staff.
It's really freaking sad that the lieutenant governor and the chief of staff are out there making Guam look like an ass.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we don't have our shit
Guys,
together.
you don't need to go out there and make us look like an ass. You can do it from your office desk here.
Without other people knowing, like why we got to involve the rest of America in our dirty political laundry? Lieutenant Governor.
Governor.
But the governor was here, so we can't she was doing the whole typhoon thing. The lieutenant governor though.
The governor didn't leave anywhere because Guam was gonna have her head on a fucking. Trust me, bro.
Oh yeah, this was part of that 3-week trip, right?
Right.
That she was supposed to take.
Yes, she was
What was that?
supposed
Oh,
to
it was
be
dengue.
there.
It was
Yeah,
dengue.
yeah.
So the lieutenant governor led the way to embarrass Guam, and the congressman reveals some behind the scenes
You
political
don't think
stuff.
that they're calling him like, hey, hey, they're here and they're acting like they know what they're talking about.
Mike, we got these people in our office.
We got these busy bees who think they're just gonna be bussing. Like, hey, come on.
So Congressman St. Nicholas knows about this so-called probable passage of the war claims bill in the Senate in November. He didn't say anything because, that pisses people off when you steal their thunder. People in the Senate, right? Mm-hmm. And they have their traditions, they have their processes. They're not gonna allow the eggs, whatever, to be counted before they hatch. But the governor was so quick to claim credit for it.
Of course.
Just because Tony Babauta had a discussion with someone in the Senate. Man, didn't they chase you out of Washington, though, because of whatever was happening at
Like,
the...
that is so embarrassing. He had to leave his post and then he's back there. They're probably like, hey, what is that crook doing? What is that crook doing here? Just
would
tell
be
him
so-
whatever he wants to hear to get him out.
I was so embarrassed. I don't know. I would not have the nerve to go back. But the...
That's how they feel about us. What are those drunkies? Hey.
We're here. Get used to it. So at least Speaker Tina Mooney Barnes had the
wherewithal to remove her
to remove the bill. You know,
But even if we would ask her why she removed it, she probably backed that ass up of the governor just
Yeah.
for shits and giggles.
yeah, probably. So good job to our congressman for calling it out, because that's what was next. Carl Borja Nelson on Bob Klitsch's show was talking about that, how what's refreshing about
Bob's
this debate.
back.
He is.
I love it.
I love him.
I love him.
and Real Joe Cruz.
All right.
They're a team again.
Yes.
So Bob Klitsch's back. I think he's going off island again next week or something. He was mentioning that. But anyway, Carl Nelson on Bob's show was talking about how he very much appreciates that the congressman calls it out and uses plain terms to call it out. Mm-hmm. And we very much appreciate that as well, because he's giving us a glimpse into the American political system that our own governor, lieutenant governor, and chief of staff are trying to distort to it's to no one's benefit. Like Guam loses because that's happening. And if I remember correctly, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought that the governor's office was saying that this thing wasn't even going to get out of the House committee.
Yeah, that's what they said.
So now they're celebrating that it's going to pass the Senate. I thought you guys said that it wasn't even going to pass the House. How is it going to pass the Senate by your accounts? You guys didn't even believe in this thing. And what's craziest about it is that this is a correction to something that Madeline Murdalio screwed up on. This is...
They just can't get it right. Like, can you guys just try a little bit harder? Please, por favor.
Why don't you guys make up another dildo story? Since the last thing that you tried to do to Mike Siniclis didn't work. Anyway, there are magistrates' reports. And we didn't have a chance to... I'm fat, so the chair keeps the hydraulics.
Mine's not.
I'm fatter than the hydraulics.
Mine's not dropping, just to
I've
let
got
you know.
some Joanne Brown issues going on. So there were magistrates' complaints. We didn't have the time to write up the stories.
Oh, can we just let everybody know school is open tomorrow? Everything is
yeah.
open tomorrow, so we're back to normal.
And the kids will be going to school tomorrow. FBI friend. Kids be going to school tomorrow. First, there's some interesting ones. A guy named Martin Defro. Yes, that is his name. His birthday is coming up in January. He was born in 1976. On or about October 7th, yesterday, police responded to a complaint in Georgia. It was for violation of a court order. The victim stated that her boyfriend, Martin Defro, appeared at her residence, at which time she told him to leave the property, and the defendant refused. Martin Defro, Mr. Defro, refused to leave the property. The victim further stated that she is scared of Mr. Defro and that she currently has a protective order against Mr. Defro. The victim provided a copy of the protective order issued October 1, was just a few days ago, to the officers at the scene, which prohibited Mr. Defro from coming within 500 feet of the victim and her children. Well, she has children. The defendant, Mr. Defro, stated that he was there to talk to the victim and to secure the makeshift storage area located at the rear of the... He used the typhoon as an excuse. Oh, this guy's so clever. Officers tried to talk further with the defendant, who continued to walk back and forth in an aggressive manner and refused to comply when asked to sit down. Mr. Defro then raised his voice and stated, "No, if you want to take me, you'll have to kill me." I wonder how many times police officers hear that. Based on the foregoing, Mr. Brown, the prosecutor, accuses Mr. Defro of violation of a court order as a misdemeanor. It's just a misdemeanor. It ain't no felony, whatever. But obviously, this guy. Why did I look like I could see all of my blackheads there? This guy. This guy is a danger. He's saying things like, "If you want to take me, you have to kill me," to police officers.
You know, I feel for this. I feel for this guy.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Because that's something someone I know would do.
Yes, I think.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he would use that, like, he's here to help me to fix this.
But that one is one of a kind. Yeah, and supported by the Taltamonas of this island, so I'm not sure. Behavior like that from Mr. Defro.
But it seems like they were giving him a chance to leave, and because he didn't leave, then there's an issue.
It's because Piniti Corazon, right?
Yeah.
Do you think he really was there to secure the
No, I don't. But maybe he wanted to make sure that they were okay.
And she was like, "What the fuck are you doing here, Martin? What the fuck are you doing here? I have the restraining order against you. What are you doing?" And he said, "Baby, I'm just here to help because the typhoon's coming." Okay, I see your point. I see your point. Maybe we shouldn't embarrass this guy too much. Let's go on to the next thing. And this one involves a guy named Christopher Manglotnia. Oh my God, I love his name. Christopher Manglotnia, who was born on May 11, 1975, is accused of family violence and assault by prosecutor Alyssa Draper DeHart. On March 16, at around 9 a.m., police received a family violence complaint. I met with the victim. The victim stated that on March 7, sometime between 7 and 8 a.m.,
This guy has this guy actually has a long history.
Also, he was right about. He was saying
that is him.
Is it a CSC history?
No, he's like a lot like thief. He's a thief. He has a whole. Let me.
So the guy has issues.
Yes,
Okay.
Prim. If you open the news at Kandit News, the pictures are there. Throw it up. I want people to see him.
Boy, can you press? Oh, never mind. It's okay. I can pull it up on my screen, but I'd have to go back and forth because I'm reading the magistrates.
The only one you send me are those.
No, it's in the news,
It's on news
at
at Kandit
Kandit
News.
News.
It's an email by Anton Uggen. He sends the
Oh, the monks.
the mug shots. Yeah.
Okay. Standby.
Oh man, I know this lady. She's like a Sirahana. She likes ice, I guess.
Maybe it's her juice. You know.
No, that lady's always been nice and she's funny.
A lot of people on ice are nice.
Yeah.
Where does gonna throw up the picture? Well, I'll be reading while we throw up the picture of Christopher McGoffney Magnolia. Oh my God, I love his parents for naming.
Oh, he likes to pretend he's a policeman.
That's him.
That's the one. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I like him
Thanks.
even more.
Thanks, source.
So she and her boyfriend Christopher McGoffney Magnolia were getting ready to go somewhere. Upon changing her mind about driving, Christopher McGoffney Magnolia started getting mad, and the victim chose to walk down the road because it was going to get bad, she said. Christopher McGoffney Magnolia then ran after her, grabbed her, and threw her to the ground. When the victim attempted to get up, Christopher McGoffney Magnolia kicked her rib area, then he pulled her up and into the house and punched her face numerous times. Christopher McGoffney Magnolia also kneed her face multiple times. Jesus. The victim stated that she couldn't leave because she was scared of him and he would force her to follow him. When Christopher McGoffney Magnolia left her along in a vehicle, the victim ran away. The officer noted swelling and bruising around the victim's eye, a bruise on the outer thigh, scab to right knee, and numerous other bruises. This happened on March 7, according to the complaint. The victim made the complaint on March 16. Officers were unable to locate Christopher McGoffney Magnolia until yesterday, October 8, when they responded to a suspicious vehicle complaint. Officers found that the driver was Christopher McGoffney Magnolia and that there were 2 active warrants for 2 criminal cases. Wait, why do criminal cases have C? Oh, one is a warrant, one is a criminal case, right?
Yeah, but he has a lot of cases, Troy. He was driving a stolen motorcycle. He was a con man going around saying he fixes vehicles.
Oh, that's him?
Yes, he also he
The one with the tools.
yeah.
Is this an ice will shatter your life kind of story?
Yes.
Okay, so check out what he was charged, what he's being accused of by the prosecutor, and maybe senators can do something about this. He's being accused of family violence as a misdemeanor and assault as a misdemeanor. He punched her face several times and kneed her
Yeah, that's where the assault comes in.
Kick the ribs.
as a misdemeanor.
But if he choked her, it would have been a felony.
So what is that like? What's the threshold?
I'm gonna be fighting like choke me.
I mean, some people kind of like that thing, you know? Is that going to be assault as a felony or whatever? Family violence as a felony?
Yeah.
I can see it now. No, officer, we were just having sex and just freaky like that. I don't know.
That has happened at the GCC library.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
you're right. You're
yeah.
right. But the other part of that video is pretty... it's lovely. Got it going on there. Anyway. So that's Christopher McGoffney Magnolia. There's the last one. What is this? Possession?
Mm-hmm.
Is it a good story or is it stale?
That's the lady, my friend. Let's not read that.
It's just a possession thing, right?
Yeah.
Stale. All right. Our next story. No, I'm sorry. We're going to go on break because the next is Kuput Gobierno. We're going to bring you information about how the Mayor's Council is full of shit for allowing administrative leave for Joint Mayor Jesse Blas. And then our top story about drugs. Thank you. I don't dance now. I make money moves. Say, I don't gotta dance. I make money move. If I see you in the street. Georgia Mayor Jesse Blas is having a party at the
Touch that thing.
what thing?
It went out.
There. Oh, there. Georgia Mayor Jesse Blas of the incarcerated Blases. He's have been having a party in the
The mayor
Federal
of C Block?
Detention Center.
C Block Mayor?
Was Georgia Fiesta really this past weekend?
Yeah. I don't think
wow.
they canceled it.
Well, yeah, there's a joke to be made about like the people at C Block call they want their mayor or something. You know, one of those like the people of Dumbville called. They'd like their mayor back. The cluster box community called. Anyway. So we recently found out that, and from Mayor Melissa Savares on the Andrea Pellicani show, that the Mayor's Council has approved Mayor Jesse Blas's application for administrative leave.
For 2 weeks.
Right, yeah, for 2 freaking weeks. First of all, how did he sign that paper? He's in jail.
His lawyer.
His lawyer brought him. Is that what they said? The lawyer brought him the documents. Secondly, how was he even qualified for administrative leave? There are very strict provisions in the personnel rules and regulations of the government of Guam that govern the conduct of even mayors and their ability to sign for leave. And you can sign for administrative leave if, like, you know, you're in like baseball and you're representing Guam in Manila, and you're a Gov Guam employee, okay, or gosh, what are they? You're going to a conference on behalf of the government of Guam, or to get training or something like that. Then you can get administrative leave, or you're the subject of an investigation pending the outcome of the investigation. Now, you don't sign for administrative leave in that category. You get placed on administrative leave. But who places a mayor on administrative leave because they were elected by the... You cannot sign for administrative leave if you're pending investigation. You don't have the option to get...
They
2
don't have
weeks.
the same laws or the same as someone who is a, what is that kind of worker at the government?
Merit-based employee.
Yeah.
Classified employee.
Classified.
No.
It's
No,
different,
so
right? The laws are different for classified and unclassified.
Yes.
And mayors fall under unclassified?
Yes. And so, basically, what the taxpayers are doing is footing the bill for a guy who's not doing his job, and because he cannot perform his duties while he's in jail. What Mayor Melissa Savares and the Mayor's Council, all those mayors are trying to do is protect their friend. But listen here, all right? Like,
Jonia needs somebody, guys.
yeah. They don't even have a municipal planning council, and they can't even appoint one. And like now that they found out that there's been an absence of one, because you need a mayor to do that. And the mayor's in what is the lawyer going to bring the appointment documents to the Federal Detention Center as well?
If he's getting paid to do it.
I mean, what in the world is wrong with the mayors of this island, huh? You guys
The
just
elite,
like to,
the elite protect each other, Troy.
the mayor wasn't even here for the typhoon. What were the people?
Renee was.
Thank you, Renee. Thank you
Yeah,
for
she
answering the
answered.
phone.
She answered us.
My goodness. Now I get it. Mayor Melissa Savares, maybe they're friends, right? All the mayors are probably friends with each other because they joke at their mayor's council meetings, and they invite each other to
No,
each
they
other's...
were all in shock. Like this. In shock.
They were not in shock. They were not. That was a lie. And so, you know, fine. You have friends. You want to stand up for your friends. Whatever. Hey, your allegiance to your friends ended the day that you assumed office, and you took an oath of allegiance to the Constitution, to the laws of Guam, to the people of Guam. Your allegiance is to the integrity of the justice system, is to the people who you serve, and you're just gonna You're just gonna throw that out the window? I just said throw. You're just gonna throw that out the window
Tuna.
because he's your friend? You guys make me freaking sick. Then there was the story. I forgot to put this in the first segment, and it was about Mayor Ernest Chagaloff from Maritzo. He's looking for the person or the people who decapitated a dog
Whoa.
and threw the dog's head into the Maritzo cemetery. Yeah, there's some sick freaking people. Maybe Judge Michael Bordallo will.
Maybe they ate it. Maybe people ate it.
Oh, that's so gross.
No, that happens, Troy. Here on Guam.
Oh,
But they
man.
like the light colored dogs.
Like, what do you mean? Like white?
Yeah, the light colored, like, so they like the.
Wait, who's they? You can say it. I say Korean store.
No, never mind that. Never mind. Forget I said it. But that could be a possibility. They ate it.
Sure.
It's a delicacy.
No, it's not.
It is, Troy.
Fuck that.
Sorry,
It
it is.
It's illegal. It's illegal on Guam to do that.
There's a lot of things that are illegal.
So, maybe the person who did this should come forward and confess to it, because all they're gonna do is they're going to bring you before Judge Michael Bordallo, and
No.
he's gonna say that it wasn't animal abuse.
You're gonna get checked by the doctor. That's what's gonna happen. You need to
Yeah.
get checked by a doctor.
Why?
Why would you cut up? You go from cutting animals' heads off and cutting animals' feet off into killing people. So you
Oh
need
no,
to-
no. But Judge Michael Bordallo says that they're innocent.
Mm.
Yeah, he dismisses cases like that.
The dog didn't feel any pain.
The dog didn't feel any pain. It was not inhumane to do that to the dog, according to Judge Michael Bordallo, who is the biggest fucking idiot in the Superior Court of Guam. Moving on to our top story and discussion right after that. It'll be a lengthy discussion where we provide some solutions. There's a so-called snitch everywhere in the dope game. Perhaps you're just a user. Maybe you're someone who buys a load at a connected price, sells a bit of it so you can buy your next load, and keep the rest for your partying desires. Maybe you're a dealer and a user. Some dealers are big-hearted and appreciate helping struggling people to get their act together in the game. And then there are some who are just in it for the business. This story isn't about judgment or on any of them. Hell, Kandit made half of its name off of the realness and the struggle of recovery. As a matter of fact, this story isn't a matter of them as much as it is the hustle of us, whether your hustle is in the underworld or in the open light of recovery. Kandit has been poring over local and federal court documents relating to Guam and the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands over the past year. There literally are hundreds of news stories we could have published and broadcast informing the public who the informants are in each case. We choose not to, except for some of them, of course. All that would have done is caused further chaos in an underworld already kept down by the injustice of police and political corruption. Oh, you think your existence is immune to politics because that's not something you fuck with. Wake up. Start with what makes sense. It is estimated there are 40,000 meth users living in Guam in various degrees of usage, from the 50-plate newbie to the off-island partier to the weekend warrior to the chronic 8-ball with 2 teeth left. Average their degree...
One can short of a six-pack.
I'm sorry, a couple people's faces came to mind. Average their degree of consumption at 1/4 of a gram, what's called a quad, per day, and that yields annual consumption of 8,147.32 pounds of methamphetamine hydrochloride imported to Guam. In 2016, Guam Customs and Quarantine Agency, working with the U.S. Postal Inspector, seized 127 pounds of meth from the airport and the mail. The following year, they interdicted 60 pounds, not even 1% of the supply that made it on the streets. Customs officials said on the record that the mail is where it's at. How in the world do the authorities not know that the vast majority of dope arrives at the seaport at Cabras Island? Why is 100% of local interdiction efforts poised at the mail system where the smaller percentage of importation occurs? Take a guess at how many drug searches have happened at the seaport throughout the duration of the Calvo administration and into the first 10 months of the MAGA Hagas term. That's right. Carry the one in the math you're doing in your head right now, and the arithmetical sum equals the regulators, the police, and the politicians are in cahoots with the importers. That's politics. That's public corruption. The money you use to pay for your drugs, that's right. You just made a political contribution to the campaign of a politician. You're more involved in politics than you even know. Sell your nanny for some drugs? Congratulations. Now you can be a Democrat or a Republican and a human sex trafficking statistic at the same time. Crooked police officer Chris Champion may not be a senator, but he's absolutely a politician. He's also ugly. The truth hurts. My point is, police and public corruption are what have fueled the new drug trade. Over the past month, what some of us understood to be the truth, while others waved it off as a conspiratorial paranoia, came crashing into our lives as a blunt reality. The arrest and indictment of Georgia Mayor Jesse Blas for his corruption in a drug trafficking organization and his connections to and implication in a ring of corrupt cops involved in human sex trafficking forced us all to confront the hideous truth about the real power in the drug world. It ain't no street gangster game no more. It's gone corporate, sold out to the big dogs. What makes you think now that the game is corrupted and bought out that it wouldn't sell you out in a heartbeat? Why is meth so expensive? That ain't the market. That's the Magas. How is it possible that a legislature so vehemently opposed to gambling because of the senator's so-called family values, yet the game rooms are packed with users and dealers giving all their money to the machines? All of that is legal because senators say so. Maybe it's because politicians like John Torres, Johnny Cool, and Gil Shinehara are the people who receive the money you put into those Liberty machines at the end of each shift. Check the senators and the governor's campaign finance reports. They provide everything from ceiling-capped limits of cash to in-kind contributions of canopies, chairs, coolers, food, and manpower. Wait for the next front page story about a meth-related robbery or the assault of a tourist or a crackhead's abuse of a child, and like clockwork, the senators and the governor will be calling for the task forces and oversight hearings and hiring of more police officers who are related to their campaigns for office. Then the raids will come and the joining of forces with the U.S. Drug Enforcement Agency with their crooked task force members from the Guam Police Department. They'll discover 16 measly grams of meth in the mail, throw the book at the guy who picks up the package, and call it a night until the next front page story. The game rooms will be buzzing that night, taking all that money that you tell your kids you don't have for the cheap soda they want at the Korean store down the street. Those officers don't follow your life. Those senators don't even remember who you are. How'd they find out your package was coming in the mail? Of the thousands of envelopes U.S. Postal Service workers distribute from the main facility in Barragata to boxes throughout this island, they just so happen to pull yours from the piles and sniff you out. Sure, there are markers to alert them to suspicious packages. Those markers exist on mailed envelopes of hundreds of other mail parcels daily. Last we checked, the USPS cut down on their workers here. The postal inspector knew it was you because someone told the police. It couldn't possibly be your closest friend, your boyfriend, your side scam, or your sister, you say? Lancelot died a long time ago. There is no honor left among thieves. Those officers don't follow your life. Oh, sorry. Whoops. I doubled the copy and paste. A September 17, 2017 article by Jarek Sablon in the Pacific Daily News says that according to former police chief Joseph I. Cruz, 95% of the tips that resulted in search warrants and arrests came from the community. Indeed. That wasn't your neighbor calling the police. That was your friend who got busted the day before. No one knew, while everyone believed his story, that he fell asleep for 3 hours and that's why his phone was dead. He wasn't sleeping. The phone wasn't dead. Cops were downloading your messages on Facebook Messenger, IG, and WhatsApp. Hey, what's up, sugar? That code you use for drugs, such as, quote, stuff, or, quote, where's my money, or, quote, can you get my girl diaper? worse. Oh, the snitch already deciphered it for the police. It's now on the record and verifiable as evidence before a court of law. His freedom was on the chopping block, and he chose yours to sacrifice instead of his. Check the court records. It's all in black and white. Put Sugar back up. Court documents and filings portray an intricate network of snitching at all different levels. You would be surprised. Lest you believe these informants are doing the general population any favors, think again. Most of them are back on the streets dealing drugs with a certain level of look the other way immunity by police and prosecutors who need them to provide information on the next person. In an ironic way, the people whom the public should believe are interdicting the drug trade are the very people who allow it to persist, all for the glory of a headline or the personal gain of politics, enemy extortion, and their cut of the black market cash flow. Let's take her picture back off before I get in trouble with the people who are, yeah. As for the CIs, they're emboldened by the friendships they've made with the Chris Champions and Keelan Pangalinans of the police world. They can mac their suppliers, cheat their customers, cut their dope, and extort the street with their connections to authorities. You mess with them, you get a batting ram to your front door before dawn and a search warrant and semi-automatic guns waved in your face. Ever been caught with dope? Wondering how your tight operation ever was discovered? Raided? Pulled over with some obscure excuse by a cop that your taillight was out, then all of a sudden they're searching your car as though they'll find the light bulb underneath the passenger seat? Someone snitched on you. You'll find the facts in the snitch's plea agreement if it hasn't been sealed by a judge or the execution of the warrant documents. And if you take your case to trial, not only will that police officer have to account for a violation of your civil rights, if one did occur, you'll also have the right to sit right across your snitch from your seat on the defense chair to the snitch's perch on the witness stand. But the system has the drug world so tightly wound around its perversion of justice that prosecutors rely on the perseverance of the injustice to your civil rights, backing up the silence of constitutional violations and looking the other way when cops perjure themselves in front of the court, that thousands of people gravitate to the rat trap that forces the poorest of us to bury our demons with smokes and liquids of poisons that make the reality of our personal prisons seemingly disappear. That's the part that our government, for all its rhetoric about its concern about the high level of meth use on this island, never tries to understand. The solution to the meth problem isn't necessarily about the supply of the drug as much as it is about the demand for it. Why do people do drugs? The answer to that question leads to the solution to the problem. Meth isn't the demon. It's what the user tries to disguise the demon with. The demon is inside each addict's mind. The strength of the addiction, though tied to the science of the drug, is supported far more by the chemistry of the user's brain. Some people are just far more susceptible to it. But that susceptibility very likely is tied to some trauma or disorder. The continued use or the so-called excuse of being stuck in the addiction very often is tied to stigma and the economic reality for that user. If meth abuse is such a big problem that we need to do something about it, then where's the money in the budget for the therapists and the social workers? Why do we spend top dollar on English professors when clearly we need to be churning out social workers, nurses, and addiction counselors? We throw millions into the furnace called the Guam Mass Transit Program that is eaten up by the well-connected Kloppenbergs on their antiquated bus system when we could have started an Uber-type system and subsidized the transportation needs of recovering addicts who need to get to work, probation, and their appointments. Hell, some of them could even make money being the drivers. And then there's the Department of Corrections. What a joke the politicians have made of rehabilitative services. The only people getting help from DOC are its vendors, like the contractor of the PayTel system that charges 30 cents per minute of standard phone services from people who obviously can't work because they're busy being incarcerated. And 30 cents a minute? What is this, 1989? Why are people so up in arms about meth use? Well, the answer is the sole responsibility of users who get stupid. The chemical imbalance leads some to engage in highly illegal human sex trafficking. Don't panty down, Brown. The feds will scoop you up in a heartbeat. Then there's the stealing that happens when the price of drugs gets too expensive and the user needs to stay high. Of course, people are going to be pissed when you steal their money or their stuff so that you can go get high. You didn't earn that money or that cigarette or that phone. Go away. Or better yet, go to sleep. No one owes you a case of Spam. Get that shit on your own. Then there are the people who just don't understand that the demon isn't the drug, but what is buried within the user and shielded by walls of pride and shame. Our basest desire is to confront what is simple and on the surface rather than contemplating the more sophisticated path of reasoning and understanding that leads to wisdom. For the Bible thumpers and the judgers, that call to reason and understanding should be a wake-up call, not to use the Lord's name in vain when casting stones at users. The path to wisdom is, as St. Augustine called it, the path to God himself, because wisdom is God, according to his 387 AD book on the free choice of the will. So, start understanding this complicated matter by bringing reason to judgment and searching for the actual truth that can solve this problem. There's no magic bullet. Everyone is different. As addicts, we do share some colloquial behavior, though, so here's my shot at it. Here's some tips that might apply to you or someone you love. And it might not. Just my shot at it, okay? Put the pipe or the syringe down. Crush the pipe and melt the syringe. If you're listening to this right now, this applies to you, I challenge you to do this right now. Put the pipe down and crush it. Like, put it in a sock. Any sock. The sock you're wearing right now. Take off your sock, put the pipe in it, and crush it. If it's a syringe that you have, or multiple syringes that you have, get a glass bowl right now and start melting it with your lighter. Put it on high flame. Crush the pipe, melt the syringe, flush the stash down the toilet. Let's just wait 30 seconds. Maybe this is something that you guys can do right now. It's the first step. Everyone, send positive thoughts to these people because this is a big first step.
Huge.
If you live in a house with another user or next door to a friend who is a user, call someone else. Call a family member, call a friend who is not a user. Ask if you can stay with them and go stay with them for a month. Turn your phone off and give it to a family member to hold for a month. Delete your Facebook profile. Messenger is the devil. Delete your Instagram. DM is the devil. Get off Snapchat. What are you, 2? Delete your WhatsApp account. Take a picture of yourself right now, print it, and tape it up on the fridge of your new temporary home so that in a month you can look back at that picture and never want to look like that again. Your body will need a few days to restart itself because your heart rate is resetting. You'll be sleeping throughout this time and you'll be tired. That's normal. When you start to feel not so sluggish in a few days, start cleaning and cooking. Cut your hair, paint your nails, go on a jog. Do something that makes you feel different about yourself. Keep yourself busy. Call the Behavioral Health and Wellness Center and ask to speak to a therapist if that will help you the right away. Call your mom and dad and just have a simple conversation. If they automatically judge you, then fuck them. You don't need that negativity right now, and they don't get it. Maybe they're even part of the problem. Every time you get a craving, think about that disgusting feeling you get once you've been awake for longer than 24 hours. You know what I'm talking about. Start counting to 30. The craving likely will pass by the time you get to 8. Think about Christmas. Think about getting your shit together. Think about the nice things you can do for people and the wonderful things you can do with time for yourself. Pray. Send positive thoughts into the universe. Read something. Watch comedy. Stay off the booze. You're depressed because your lover found another? Well, they deserve each other. They're probably both ugly. You don't deserve to be his or her prisoner of neglect and abuse. Get away from that shit. And if you do these things and you fall off the wagon, get the fuck back up. You can do it again. And just keep doing it until you're done with it. Don't let anyone judge you. The other way to get clean, though, is for the drugs to dissipate from your system as the rest of your body rots into the earth when you're dead. We all get clean at some point, either in life or through death. The difference is choice. Whatever choice you make determines how much real happiness and purpose you're able to bring to the people you love between the time you have left in life and the time God calls you to eternal rest. This is Troy Torres, signing out of that story. Let's discuss this.
I love that article.
Thank you.
I know I didn't write any of that. I wasn't even there when he was writing it, but I know that I had some part in figuring it out.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell
You
yeah.
know?
You've helped me figure this out more than anyone else has. About myself, I'm talking about. Because everyone's different, right?
Yeah. But I wasn't on
Sometimes-
his door every day. Troy, what are you doing? Oh, who's that? But I didn't do that.
Yes,
I would
you
give him a couple of days, you know, to figure out what he was thinking, how he was thinking, and then I would ask, how are you feeling today? Do you feel like you're craving? Okay, so am I. I'm craving too, and this is the things that, you know, what's making me crave and why I'm upset and why I'm mad and, you know. So we just have to go. You got to go through that. You got to let it out. You got to you got to have somebody that you can talk to.
I don't get me wrong. I love dope.
Me too.
It's,
Me too, Cello.
it's just there's life to live. And not every day's a party anymore. I'm 39 years old.
Yep, I'm almost 40. And if anybody and everybody that knows me from before, I love to party. I always have a good time. I'm all over the place. Catch me if you can.
And you know what? That's everyone's. I'm not gonna freaking rain on someone's party parade.
Yeah, me too.
But for me, I'm just too old for this shit. It's just.
It does get old. It
does
does
get
get
old.
tiring. But until you reach that point in your life, because I've tried to get sober. I was sober for 6 years. And then I just fell. But I didn't fall. I didn't say, oh, I'm just going to get high today. It was a process in my brain. I was preparing myself to relapse. You know, instead of setting the boundaries, like every day I set boundaries for myself. I don't go here, I don't go there, I don't do this. Don't think too hard about money or your financial situation. Don't let it bug you so bad so you don't find an excuse to fall back into the cycle, you know?
I know. Whenever GPA sends me a letter,
Sorry, it's
I
my
just
fault.
wanna use, or like the bank or what. Stop sending me letters.
But that is grown
That's
up
not-
stuff.
That's not right.
That is grown up stuff, you know. We got to grow up. We got to, and when you feel like, sometimes I feel like, oh, I don't want to talk to this person today because they're not gonna want to help themselves, you know. I have to remind myself I was there.
That's a constant reminder for me.
You know, I was there at one point, and give them that chance. That might be the one time, that 15 minutes or an hour, maybe 2 hours, that they need you.
The other thing is because a lot of people don't have their own family that
Yeah.
they can have this discussion with. Their family will make it worse.
Yeah.
And they don't know that. The family doesn't know that they're making it worse, but really, how they're treating that loved one is making the situation worse.
Yeah.
And so,
Like, you can't sit there and say, oh, but you did this and you did that and you did this to us and this is how you used to be. You got to knock it off, right? When that person decides, okay, I'm going to try. You got to knock, whatever happened, you need to move forward. But you cannot you can't be an enabler either. You got to put your foot down and you got to move forward. You have to have a plan. If that drug addict is deviating from that plan, or they're making excuses to go to not do what you guys were supposed to do that day, then that is a sign that they are planning to relapse. So you as a partner, you as a friend, you as the person that you gotta think of those things, but you can't. We're all adults. You can't every minute of the day. What are you doing? Where you at? What do you? Who's that? Are you thinking about using? Like, you can't do that.
Yeah.
You gotta let.
Well, in any situation, you can't
Yeah.
do that. It
Yeah.
just turns people off.
Yeah.
You know?
So this article is very intriguing to me. I get a kick out of it every time because it's the truth. We're pushed down. It's not because we're pushing ourselves down. Because even me sober, I'm still being pushed down. Okay? There's someone pushing us down, whether it be the political elite, whether it be our families who are in denial about what is really going on with us. We don't succeed financially because they don't want to. Oh, I'm not going to give her that because she's going to use it for drugs. You know. So it's not that we're being pushed down. Yes, we push ourselves down, but also there's things out there that are pushing us down there and leaving us there. You know?
And it's not just drug users, drug addicts. It's people who are different. Someone said this was good advice for people who are
Depressed. Yes.
And I didn't realize that would be these things would apply to people who are not drug users. There are, again, people who have disabilities, people who are different. They're considered weird to the normal in society. You know, like
I like weird.
They're put down.
Yeah, I like weird.
We are put down.
Yeah.
And so, Dave, trust you cannot put us down. Cannot.
So I wanted to talk about the different outlets here on Guam.
Okay.
We have Oasis Empowerment Center, right? We have
Thank you, Oasis.
the Lighthouse Recovery. That's for men. Right now, there's a bid out for women.
Oh, okay.
So let's hope that happens.
Thank you, Lighthouse.
There's Guam Behavioral Health. Those guys are awesome. Dean. Oh my God, she's gonna kill me. That is even my relative. I forget her name.
Gail?
No. Athena.
Oh, okay.
Okay, she's my relative.
That's Gail's daughter.
Okay. They're wonderful people over there.
Thank you guys over at Behavioral Health.
Outlets, Facebook. You could find pages here on Guam that love helping. Jesse Mendiola, Troy Torres, Johnny Rosario. You need to find people. None of this fake stuff, fake bullshit. You know these.
Can you give me an example of the fake stuff?
People who pretend they don't get high. Okay, those are the worst ones.
Those are our critics.
Our number one critics.
Yeah.
Okay?
And I just if I had the time, Chelo, I would find those comments and I would be like, this is your case number. This is who you snitched on.
Yeah. Those are the worst.
Don't ever come at us ever fucking again.
And just because I'm a drug addict, an ice addict, and you are a alcoholic, or you use other form of what is it? Another form of addiction, a substance. My drug addiction is not worse than your alcoholism. It's just your drug of choice. So just because I do ice, that doesn't mean because you drink alcohol and it's legal, it makes you better than me.
Yeah.
We all suffer from the same disease.
Matter of fact, Chelo, most of the studies agree that of all the narcotics out there, alcohol is the one that drives people to violence more than any other
Brothers
drug.
kill each other.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Anyways, so social workers, therapists, you can go to, pick a friend, you know, and the crazy part about this recovery is I've met the most beautiful people on this recovery, this round. You know, we come from all different walks of life. you could find that. It's all over. And Guam, I have to admit, Guam is the one place I feel safe. Guam has to be I believe that if you're walking and someone sees you, whether they know you or not, if they can offer you food, if they can offer you $3, they'll give it. And you find that here on Guam. I don't think you find that anywhere else.
Yeah, I think you're right.
You know, so being
Well, the other islands of Micronesia are like that too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Our culture.
Yeah.
Right.
Our island culture.
Our island culture. So pick up that phone. Come to Kandit. Figure it out. But I'll be very honest with you. I do not like to be lied to. You can come at me. I'll do whatever I can. I'll help you find the resources to help you. But you have to help yourself. And helping yourself is not lying to yourself, not lying to the people around you. Be honest. Be upfront. Tell them what your triggers are. Tell them what your ugly is, so that we can overcome that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, when I
Get
get
dirty laundry out
yeah,
there.
when I get high, like when I used to get high, I didn't care about people's feelings. I sorry. I didn't care about how other people felt. I was going to do what I was going to do, whether they liked it or not. Oh, give Troy a minute. What does that say, Mom? Oh. Give me 1 second. Sorry, guys.
We'll go to break.
We're going to go to break?
1 minute.
No. Here, pass this.
Come inside after you go. You were saying, I'm sorry, I caught the part where you were saying that you were you didn't consider people's feelings, or
Yeah, when I used to get high, you know, I didn't
that's
care.
not, that's not true. You were very considerate.
No, you didn't spend enough time with me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I know. When I was a user, Johnny never like really checked me, and like she was like the best fucking dealer, like the biggest freaking.
There was just enough to go around, Cello.
I didn't get any.
You know.
We're friends after the drug dealing.
And what I learned here is, when you air out your own dirty laundry, when people come at you and try to use it against you, it ain't that dirty.
Not dirty at all. You laugh at it.
Yeah.
So you know why I'm wearing this shirt tonight?
I recall. I know. I know,
Who's
Cello.
laughing now? My dog's really smart. She knows how to open locked doors.
Okay, the solutions. We're talking about their solutions, addiction plan, giving people ideas.
Yeah, because there's Gov Guam has this retarded notion that the programs that they have
Work. It
yes,
doesn't.
It works for very few people. Like the court stuff works, but that only works for the people who get caught.
Yeah.
And then there's Oasis and there's Lighthouse, but they have their capacity is only so much. There's like places where women who are trying to get out of bad situations involving drugs can hide away. That's like the Ali shelter, sanctuary, stuff like that, right? It ain't enough. And a big part of the solution, of course, is education. That's for the long-term stuff. But for the people already mired, who are at risk and who are mired in addictive behavior and drugs and all that stuff, there needs to be a major shift in resources and in programs.
And guys, if these people, the lawmakers, they think it's not their problem, like, oh, they don't, it's not their problem. They got into drugs, it's their problem. They need to figure it out. No, that is the society. That is who we are right now. Mm-hmm. More than half of us are struggling with that. And we have kids to take care of. We need a home to live in. And if you do not give them those resources, a job training,
therapeutic services.
Right? If you don't give them the necessary tools, then we're all stuck. We're still stuck. So they need to wake up and get this shit done.
Oh, but they don't mind. They don't mind taking campaign contributions from the game room owners.
Oh no, not
The,
at all.
the game rooms, which are, I don't even know if 1% of them are non-drug users.
Right.
Like everybody who goes into the game room, these are not people who have a natural addiction to gambling. They're in there because they're high and they have a compulsion that they cannot control because they're high. And the senators, they know this. They know that the people who go into these Liberty game machine rooms are people who are high. They are users and they are dealers, and they're throwing all of that money that they made for their families, because that's their hustle, right, on the black market.
Or even their paychecks. They go out,
Their
they get
paychecks.
paid, they buy a 50 plate, and it's gone.
In the freaking Liberty game
Right,
machines.
right.
So you want to know why there's so much robbery on this island? It's because people can't afford their meth. Why can't they afford their meth on top of the high prices? Because it's gone corporate? Because they're spending all their money in those game rooms. And the senators know this, and they take campaign contributions from those game rooms, and they've left that law intact from the 32nd Guam legislature by former Senator Chris Fat Shit Duenas. Yeah, we should all blame Chris Duenas for the problems that we are having in crime these days, the robberies and the assaults that are meth-based, because if there weren't these game rooms, I would bet you that 75% of these violent crimes and robberies
Go
wouldn't
away.
have happened. The game rooms, God bless you. If we want to start attacking the meth problem, we have to start removing the propensity for bad behavior, for more addictive, compulsive behavior, like those Liberty Machine game rooms.
That I guarantee you, they remove that, there'll be more babies. Guarantee.
Oh, you mean like more people will be having sex? And,
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, because they're spending all their time in front of 24-hour freaking machines.
Right.
Did you know there's Liberty machines at King's in Harmon?
Yeah. There's two.
There's Liberty machines in the kids' amusement park in
At
the
mall.
Micronesia Mall.
Yes.
What in the fuck is wrong with you people? Micronesia Mall? King's Harmon? What's wrong with you? How could you promote something like that? And then the mayors want to have
about
their
money.
casino gambling at
It's
the
money.
carnival and at their stupid fiestas. What part of culture is what do they call that? Craps?
Betu.
Or what's the one where you can lose your entire house in a couple of games? The one that Tello likes. The Texas Hold'em. No, the other one. Not Texas Hold'em. Baccarat. We have Baccarat. We have casino gambling at the carnivals, even though the law clearly says no casino gambling. We have it. We have it at carnivals. And it's legal, apparently, according to our government that receives all of its campaign contributions from Johnny Cool and Gil Shinahara and the Liberty game machine rooms. Anyway, I'm so sorry. We went off on a tangent there. Going back to solutions other than shutting down those game rooms.
That normal people applying for jobs, they have to get police and court clearances.
Okay. Oh,
That
they're
costs money.
expensive.
Right. So also a program that gives you these incentives to help you get your police and court clearance. But, okay, like when you apply for GURA, if you aren't the ones to turn in your court and police clearance, GURA has to request it for you.
Okay.
It is not. They tell you to get it because they don't want to have to do the legwork for it, right?
Okay.
But I believe in the application process, they have to ask it for you if you don't provide it.
I don't understand why they don't. It's one government, right? As long as you sign something that
There
says
is a
please
grant
pull
that
it.
is supposed to get all of these government. There's supposed to be a grant.
So they all talk to each other?
Yeah, the systems all connect to each other, but it's not. They're stalling it because they don't want it.
Yeah, I believe
The
that.
people
yeah.
in the Guam Police Department, in the judiciary, they do not want that system working.
I believe that.
Because if you get pulled over, they type in your number, and if that's my mali or my pari or my best friend or the girl's pretty, if those systems are connected, they cannot erase that they pulled you over.
Yeah.
Not like how they do it now. They can do that now. Cancel the ticket. Cancel me finding you the meth on you because you're my pari, or let me cancel this pulled over because I found so much meth, and let me just steal it from them and let them go.
Joey Uggin,
Okay.
Keon Pangilinan.
So they cannot. The people in power cannot afford for this program to succeed because what is the name of that grant? It's they started it at the judiciary.
Is that Edward Byrne?
Some grant.
I forgot.
I forgot the name, but I'm correct. I know I'm correct about
Yeah.
this. Okay, so that needs to maybe if you're willing, if you do this program, the job training program, they give you gift certificates or vouchers to get your police and court clearance, so they can help you find jobs, or more big companies should be willing to take in us, because we'll just work a little bit harder.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If that one person believed in me, I would work a little bit harder.
And business owners who have problems with people who are druggies, don't, come on. I know some of your secrets. Don't even pretend like you're angels. We'll just call you out by name. There's also, Cello, the issue of a lot of people don't have high school diplomas.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember once talking to Mary Okada, the president of GCC, and I asked her, do you think you could churn out, say, 300 people every semester on a fast-track GED program? She said, yeah, we can do that, as long as the funding's provided,
Yeah.
What a great way. What a great thing to invest in is people completing their high school education. Maybe they got in trouble. Maybe they were troublemakers when they were young and stupid, right? But now they want to join the military. They want to get a job that requires a high school diploma.
Yeah.
That's it. And very important thing to remove them from the at-risk population.
Right.
And give them an opportunity to join the military or get a job, an entry-level job, or apply for a grant or whatever the case may be that requires a GED, a high school diploma.
I got my GED. My highest level of education is 9th grade, Cello.
I think it's more than that.
No, it is.
You're talking about like the official on paper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I got my GED.
Okay.
So I love telling the kids that. I love telling people that who don't have a high school diploma, because it gives them, they're like, oh shit, if you can get your GED, so can I,
But you have to get off your ass, like
Yeah.
like the solutions that we're talking about here. Sure, they're meant to help. They're meant to provide people with opportunity. But first, like you said, you gotta want it, right? Secondly, it requires you to get up and do something, because it's not. This ain't just for the benefit of society. It's also for your benefit. You can lead a horse to water, but
You can't force it to drink.
you can't force it to drink.
Yeah.
Exactly. But this is not a lot of stuff, guys. This is only if you're fucking lazy, like lazier than
And this is over
Joanne
time.
Brown. And
This doesn't happen overnight.
no, it doesn't.
Sobriety does not happen overnight.
What else do we got?
Transportation.
Okay.
Okay. What's the name of that transportation?
Guam Regional Transit Authority.
Unreliable.
Oh yeah.
Very unreliable. I don't know. They pump in $3.5 million a year
Yeah.
into that. Our government pays for public transportation. I'm not sure if I go to the bus stops or wherever the bus stops are, I still need to pay for that or no?
Unless you have some sort of like
Disability.
voucher. Yeah, something that some voucher that allows you to whatever. But
Okay.
otherwise, you pay for bus fare.
Yes. And that, I don't know when they're going to get it. It does not work.
For years.
Years since I was a kid, I remember this. So,
Wait, hold on.
what?
We ride on Guam Public Transit.
Winners ride the bus. Yeah, I remember that commercial. $3.5 million is pumped in to Guam Mass Transit. It is unreliable. So you made me do a numbers thing, and if they change that system, remove it, start an Uber, and some of us recovering drug addicts can have a job, okay?
Like as drivers.
as drivers. You got to pay for your own car. You got to figure it out. Okay.
Okay.
If you do 12 rides a day at $10 each, that's $120 a day at 5 days a week.
Okay.
That's $28,000 a year. 28,800
Okay.
a year. They can hire 121 drivers.
So 12 rides, 100.
If I'm the driver,
Okay.
I can do 12 rides in one day,
Okay.
right? You can do more, you can do less, it's up to you.
Okay.
But an average of 12 rides a day at $10 each.
Okay.
That will pay me, that's at 5 days a week, that would pay me $28,800 a year.
So then in one day, 12 times 121 drivers is how many rides?
I didn't do that one. I got
I
it.
think that's a lot of rides.
And that's enough to get
Everyone who needs a ride.
Yes. And if you don't have that money, the programs you're attending, the job training, the things that the government will pump money back into, and I'm pretty sure there's grants, federal grants, all kinds of grants to help you get up off your feet.
That's 1,452 rides directly from one place to another per day. That's way more
That
than
if
the
you-
number of rides per day
That
right
if you're
now.
the Uber driver who takes care of, let's say, Jigo, you can pick up 4 people and take $40 in vouchers to take them to where they need to go.
$40 for 20 minutes of driving.
Isn't there a company that's out here redoing that?
Yes, but it's not
Stroll Guam or
subsidized.
something?
Stroll Guam, yeah. It's not subsidized, and that I think they haven't been able to like really take off because.
There's something in the law that's stopping them, right?
Oh, is that what it is?
I think so. It's a political thing.
We should look that up. We
Yeah.
should definitely look that up.
But
Like-
imagine that.
And that's only
100
$3.5 million.
That's with only $3.5 million. That is pumped, and that money is pumped into Guam Mass Transit, and it does not work.
Does not work for years. Oh, great for an idea.
So there's a lot of things. Troy and I really can't. We do as much as we can with Kandit, but with the leaders that do listen to us, that do give us a chance to put our ideas in there. Sometimes we have to keep quiet about who we're talking to because they get backlash because it's Troy's idea or my idea or.
Yeah. Fuck them.
But we don't mind sharing. We don't mind getting the word out.
We love it. I'm just trying to answer the comments before we end the night.
And I hope you like that we went on early. That was Troy's idea because I was procrastinating to get down here.
I woke up late today, PS, like 9:30 or something.
I don't even want to.
That's 8.
Yeah, no, I'm a 5 a.m. bird. Thank you very much, you guys, for sticking with us through this night. We very much appreciate the love. Thank you very much. Lance D says, as live as it can get. Chris Wong's laughing. Mike Rosansky says, air out the dirty pants. Joe Belahaja says, ice will shatter your life. Mike says, oh, asking for a friend, is Johnny still selling panties? My friend wants one autograph. Thank you in advance.
Please ask me for a friend.
Joe Belahaja says, yes, Athena was my counselor. Julita Marie, buenas to you too. Mike Rosansky said, I heard the best ice drugs are from the game rooms. Back in the day. James Howard says, game rooms owned by the lawyers. I know which lawyer you're talking about. Davina Benavides says, real shit. Mike Rosansky, and the best weed comes from the Korean kids in Barracuda Heights. Thanks. Thanks for sharing. Davina says, thank you for this topic. Brandy Hall says, preach. Thank you, sister. Mike Rosansky says, fuck, where's my charger? Oh. Gina says, what I wonder is that when you look at the high school graduation rates, we have more than 50% of our seniors graduating in any given year. How then do we get 50% of our people hooked on drugs What happened to those graduates' potential to do good with themselves, to either further their education, learn a trade, get gainfully employed, or join the military? How did drugs get into their lives to begin with if we had more than 50% of our students graduating and ready to move into adult life? I'm trying to find, Gina, this presentation. You actually saw this presentation back in 2012 where half of this presentation that I put together was regarding well, some of the data was about the graduation rate and how she ain't lying.
I'll tell you this: people use drugs. It's not from a stranger.
Yeah.
You start using drugs because, and this is the sad reality, it's somebody you know, your family's close friend. It's never from a stranger. So that is the sad reality.
Yeah.
And what made me wake up to that is when I got in trouble, there was a officer who was like really treating me like a fucking piece of shit, like I was and he says, I said, how would you like it, or why are you talking to me this way, and what if it was your sister or your wife? Like why are you talking to me like you don't know what I go through, And then he says, if it was my fucking wife, I would fucking pack her shit and kick her the fuck out of my house. And I said, oh, really? So easy for you to say? No, because that is the bad apple, and I don't need her to give anyone else drugs in my family. So there, I think his name was Donato, or I forget his name, but he stepped on my toes, and I yelled at him. Yeah, I forgot his name, but it starts with a D. It starts with a D.
And his words of wisdom made a difference.
That right there hit home because he was right. He was so right. It's so true.
Well, officer, whatever your name is.
Starts with a D. Donato.
It's not Christopher Maglonia Maglonia.
No, not that fake officer.
Thank you for sharing that, Chella. That was very insightful. Thank you. I hope the story changed someone's life tonight. Great job, Kandit, says Carl Blas. Brandy Hall says, educate to elevate. James Howard says, business is good. I think this is regarding the game rooms. Yeah, business is good for those game rooms. They hardly pay anything in taxes. Gina's asking, what is the situation that these graduates would become part of the drug world if there are drug pushers out there? Their game is to make a living on selling drugs. They don't care if you have dreams to live a good life. They don't care if you wanted to get married and have a family. They don't care if you never wanted to touch drugs. They are making a living dealing. Actually, Gina, there are some drug dealers who do care about those things, and they will not. They live by a code of honor. They will not, and this is only some, not all. They will, if they find out that you've never used drugs before and you come
walk
to them
away.
They will not sell it to you.
I have never. Every time I've run into a person when I was out there, and I knew that they didn't use, or that was their first time, or they wanted to try it, I wouldn't.
You tell them to get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there are some drug dealers who live by that code of honor, and they will
And
not.
I despise people who smoke with their children.
That happens
I
a lot.
I hate it. It bothers me, and you will never hear the end of it from me, because
Or in front of their kids, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Mike Rosanti's asking, you need funding, fucking make use of those fucking government grant writers. We fucking pay them over $100,000 a year. What the fuck? Gina Call says, people who are depressed and feeling low, where does that all stem from when they graduated from high school and are ready to take on the life of work and higher education? Is it because there are not enough jobs out there for them to fit in society? There are a lot of jobs, matter of fact. There's the job market is in need of workers. What are the sources of this level of depression? Find the source and tackle it. That will help prevent the
That's
pull
where the
into doing
therapists
drugs.
and the social workers come in.
We need a lot of social
Because
workers.
sometimes we don't even know where the root is. It's in here.
Most of the time we don't know.
It's in here,
Yeah.
deep in there.
Mike Rosansky continues, there are grants for everything. We just need those fucking $100,000 a year grant writers to do their jobs. Lance D says, Stroll, Lance, you will be the director of the Guam Uber transit system. Chris Wong says, but in 10 to 15 years, self-driving cars will be here, so that takes away human jobs. Well, as long as the transportation part of
there.
it is there, that would be. Mike Rosanti says.
I don't think so. I think people love driving because it's a sense of freedom. So I think people will win there on this whole self-driving. Yeah, the rich people.
Mike Rosanti says, "Fuck Stroll, Guam. Fucking guy can't even get there on time to pick someone up." Well, okay, if that's true, then I guess that's why Stroll Guam hasn't taken off. It's probably just working out the kinks or whatever, right? Lance D says, "Yup." Mike Rosansky continues, "Bad service, Stroll Guam," and then in the next post, "Fuck Stroll Guam." He was really mad at them. Nasty says they were probably stoned, James Howard says use the school buses for transit. So actually, Governor Cabo tried to do that, and there's some either federal law or regulation that prohibits that. Like there cannot be, and they do it in Hawaii. I'm sorry. The issue is you cannot use a school bus stop as a mass transit bus stop. So in Hawaii, the kids use mass transit bus stops as their school bus stop, which is the other way
But
around.
it cannot be the other. Yeah.
Yeah, it cannot be the other way around. Gina Call says, or is it because students are still graduating with substandard education and they know they cannot make it into higher education campuses, or that they can't seem to hold a decent job because they lack either common sense or specific skills? Is it maybe DOE's fault that we are pumping out substandard graduates who fall into low self-esteem and depression that resort to drugs as a way to cope? Or is it this whole way of life, living a false reality, using social media and getting so absorbed into the gamer's world that they lack social skills and cannot handle relationships and taking on responsible living, therefore causing a type of depression? Those are all good points, but Gina, I would venture to say that the spectrum is wider than that. That there are all different kinds of reasons. And yes, when we look at how screwed up society is and how it's sort of system-wide, yes, the public school system continues to play a role in that. And yes, our level, the
But
standard
as
of education,
adults,
whatever.
I'm sorry, but as adults, yes, maybe your actions or your inaction has a lot to do with what happened to you as a child. But you need to get over that, and you make those choices on your own, whether you're going to use that as a crutch or you're going to move forward and be a better person.
And one of the choices that you can make is to attack that inner whatever by going to see a therapist, calling up behavioral health. That's a resource that's available. That's a way of adulting the problem, right?
Yes.
JL Salagastine says, half a day from Killeen, Texas. Half a day. Lance D says, or a bigger fleet, in reply to James Howard, who said, use the school buses for transit. Jason Gumatata says, half a day from Texas. Oh, did I say that already? I think I did. Davina Benavides says, amen. Jason Gumatata says, fuck it, use a bang bus for pickup. Irene Alcantara loves us. Thank you, Irene. We love you too. Vincent Cruz says, you two are doing great. Keep your head up high. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mike Rosansky says, oh, what's up with that Guahan Academy getting building E? If we have time tomorrow, we're going to write that story. We'll bring you more about that story. Displacing.
Oh, there's more?
No, we never wrote up the story.
I thought we did.
That and the history of the Guahan Academy Charter School.
Okay.
And Judy Wampat's connections to all that. So we're going to put that all together. Davina says, I thought I was the only one who remembered Bang Bus. No, girl. No, you're not the only one. Gina says, at what age do you typically see people adulting and realizing the need for help?
It's all ages. All ages.
I know. The early 20s people don't normally start adulting these days.
Yeah, they don't.
Yeah.
But even I know 60-year-olds that still,
She's only 60? I thought she's a little bit older than
maybe
that.
70.
No, it's not that old.
I don't know.
Auntie, yeah.
Yeah.
Mike Rosanti says, Trike Express, best porn. I've never heard of that.
Oh, Mike.
You've heard of Trike Express?
No.
Oh.
Never mind.
I mean, I could tell you what I know about, but...
So, thank you for joining us tonight, guys. It was a great show, I think.
Thank
Got
you
a
very
lot
much.
off my chest.
Yeah. We love you all.
Happy sober days, Cello. Happy sober days.
And this is for you, Chris Barnett. Fuck off.
Good night.